It's a really huge box that the coffee machine comes in. It weighs about 12 kilograms and it's quite luggable bringing it in from the car. Getting the coffee machine lifted up onto the counter, it's a bit of an effort to unpack everything safely on the floor and pick it up, but it's finally up there, the counter's clean and the coffee machine is almost ready to go bar reading the instructions. Here's the coffee machine sitting on the counter. This thing here is something which I've had for maybe 3 or 4 coffee machines before this one. That's to bang the group, I think they call this a group, to bang the group on and get the waste coffee out. Comes with a variety of extra pots that go inside the group, and it's got its own built-in coffee grinder, so that means I've been able to eliminate the old coffee grinder which I had on the bench. The only thing now is just to put some water into it and make it work and get a cup of coffee. Okay, so I've got the top off the grinding section. We'll just fill that up with the coffee beans. And put the cover back on. Not much else to do. I've already put the filter inside the water container on the back of the machine. It's a pretty big water container, so it's a little bit awkward to get it under the sink tap. So what I've got is the old trusty water container here, and I'll fill the water container up with that. Probably put a bit more in because there's an actual tank in the machine which was going to take a fair bit of this water when I first put the back on, and therefore, you know, I may as well just fill this right up at the moment, and then it'll be a lot easier. The first thing I notice about the machine is just how heavy and well built everything is. The group, I don't know, it probably weighs about 600 grams, maybe a little bit more even. It's quite heavy. So putting the group underneath the grinder, it's already set up for the right size for it. Turn the machine on. Right, now the grind amount, look, most of these grind amounts are pretty generous, so I'm going to turn that nearly all the way back down. And to grind it, I think we just have to push this in. There's a switch. First time the grinder's been used, so it's a little bit slow, but it's certainly it's filling that up now. Okay. Right. Now they actually give you this thing called a razor, and it's made of stainless steel, and it's designed to sort of after you've tamped the coffee down to get rid of any excess coffee out of this. So tamping it down with a little tamp. You know, you could have that a bit fuller if you wanted to, but I'm pretty happy with that. And the grind quality looks really nice. That's very fine. I've always tended to use just the ice block sticks to clean that. So having that luxury stainless steel thing, it's probably a little bit too swish for me. That might just go in the cupboard. Okay, so putting this in and locking it in place in the machine. I have no idea about the program mode, or this is the amount of water, and you can set that using program control. So that's something that I'll look at later, but for the time being it's just a case of getting a cup that fits under that. And as far as I know, this gauge hasn't come up, so it's only a pressure gauge, it's not a temperature gauge. Let's see how we go here. It's making a noise. Whoa, things are happening. Okay. I'm just going to hold this group in place because without using two hands I didn't lock it as far as it could have gone, and past experience with machines shows me that the groups can actually come unlocked and drop down if you don't tighten them up enough. Yeah, well, if that's supposed to be a cup of coffee, that's a pretty lousy first attempt. We might get a bit more out of that. Press the double cup this time and we'll force a bit more water through there and just see how we go. Interesting, the pressure takes quite a while to build up. I think I'm going to have to use this program control sooner than I thought. I'm sure if I just touch that, that'll stop. Yes, it does. So it's pretty intuitive. Haven't got much of a creamer on top of that coffee, but that's the very first cup of coffee made with the new machine. So fingers crossed that everything works out, and this is a good machine going forward into the future. Well, what's my verdict for the very first cup of coffee? First thing I notice is it's very, very hot. Much hotter than any of the previous machines I've ever had. No doubt this has got a very huge hot water system in it, and no doubt that's what's making it so hot. Second thing I notice, that tastes stronger than the coffee out of my old machine. No doubt those beans, I'm not sure if these beans, these are from, what's it called? Grinders. I'm not sure about the creamer, because the other machine's been broken for about a week and I've been using an Aldi machine in between with the pods. But look, overall I'm pretty happy with that. That's not a bad damn cup of coffee. That had lots of milk in it to make it cool enough to drink. Okay, well, my first cup of coffee out of the Breville machine, the time to set it up, piece of cake. It's easy and it tastes good. This is part one of looking at the museum of old coffee machines. This is the same model but in stainless steel, and I inherited this from the neighbours. It didn't last long and it's ended up in the graveyard. Second coffee machine from the graveyard is this one here. I bought that new for about $129 from memory. It lasted about maybe 4 years before it sprung a leak. And finally the coffee machine that just gave up a few days ago. It's another, well no, I thought it was a Breville to Sunbeam. And this has been used on and off for maybe 5 years. So yeah, I've had quite a collection of coffee machines and I tend to know them pretty well inside out, but eventually they all leak, or in this case the power switch has failed. It's like caved in on itself.